Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, are we getting to the end game as far as the APC party is concerned? Is really where the question is within the Nigerian space, because the way it is playing out is a bit similar to like a wildlife documentary. You know, when you see a predator chasing a prey and the prey runs and runs, and once that prey is cornered, it turns round and fights back. This may not be the beginning of the end, but it is certainly the end of the beginning. Guys, I bring you this: Buhari ungrateful after I spent 35 billion naira to make him president. A headline attributed to Tinubu. So you see now why I started the video in the manner that I started it. Again, the headline: Buhari ungrateful after I spent 35 billion naira to make him president. A headline attributed to Tinubu. So now let's now see what the Asiwaju of the APC party has to say. Embattled national leader of the All Progressive Congress APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has taken a huge swipe at President Muhammadu Buhari, describing him as an ingrate on whom he spent over 35 billion naira to make president. Tinubu's outburst came a day after Buhari torpedoed his presidential ambition, endorsing another faction of the APC in the leadership tussle that has engulfed the party. Sources close to the former Lagos State governor told correspondents. On Wednesday, Buhari endorsed Acting National Secretary Victor Giadam as Acting National Chairman of APC. Barely 24 hours later, he orchestrated the dissolution of the party's National Working Committee (NWC). Yobe State Governor Mia Malabanu was appointed to lead the party as caretaker chairman. Sources informed that Bunu, Abubakar Bugadu, and Nasir El-Rufai, governors of Yobe, Kebbi, and Kaduna State respectively, as well as Transport Minister Chibuike Amechi, belong to the same political camp opposed to Tinubu. Soon after Thursday's NEC meeting, it was gathered that Tinubu got on the phone with a former national chairman of the party, Chief Bisi Akande, lamenting and cursing everyone perceived to be behind his political travails. A source who was privy to the conversation told correspondents that the former Lagos State governor complained to Akande, reportedly expressing regrets on all he did for the APC. Asiwaju lamented that he invested over 35 billion naira to fund Buhari's election in 2015 and 2019. Correspondents, however, could not independently verify the figure Tinubu claimed to have spent on Buhari's two elections. The source further hinted that the embattled APC leader regretted not backing his former political ally and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar in 2019 over Buhari, and blamed El-Rufai, Amechi, and former Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun as the arrowheads of the opposition to his political aspirations. Asiwaju told Akande that had he backed Atiku in 2019, he would have suffered this kind of political humiliation. He said that were it not for him, the APC would not have won the 2015 and 2019 elections, disclosed the source. It was gathered that Tinubu may have been dealt the biggest political blow of his life yet in retaliation for how he, Tinubu, humiliated the immediate past governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode. According to the source, Buhari and other top leaders of APC had begged Tinubu to allow Ambode to complete his tenure. As events later proved, the pleas fell on deaf ears. The APC leaders were said to have vowed to pay Tinubu in his own coin for not just disobeying the president, but also carrying on like the sole owner of the party. Meanwhile, a cold war is currently brewing between Tinubu and Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. According to sources close to both political gladiators, Tinubu may have, since 1999, schemed up to $1.5 billion directly and through proxies. Governor Sanwo-Olu is reportedly not pleased with Tinubu's overbearing demands and his attempts to control his government. Ambode is reportedly happy that Tinubu's humiliation would give him some respite. So this is now the goings on now. It's all opening up now because this guy, of course, has been cornered. Have absolutely no doubt about that. In one fell swoop, they have taken the party completely away from him. So if Tinubu now still has any presidential ambitions for 2023, he has to go and reform a party and then use that party as a vehicle for his presidential ambitions. But then Tinubu's clout is only within the southwestern regions of the country, and the southwestern regions of the country are not alone to present or gift you a presidency. So you would need a good northern input, and you would need some input from the eastern regions as well. And I don't think that the easterners particularly care for Tinubu. They would prefer Tinubu, of course, to a Malam, but they don't really care for both of them really because they have their own plans. But now, having to rebuild from this point up to 2023 is a Herculean task. But this guy now has found himself suddenly shut out in the cold, out of a party that he created for having the stupidity, should we say, of trusting a Fulani. This is an age-long story of the Yoruba race. When you place trust in these people, but then they shaft you in the back. So he's been shafted in the back, of course, well and truly, and now he's lamenting to Bisi Akande to say, look what this guy did to me after I spent 35 billion naira on his campaign. But then where did that money come from is really the question. Because if you look at the trajectory of Tinubu's life, he was a failed businessman up till 1999, and then from 1999 he became the governor of Lagos State, and he has had no business for all of that 20 odd years other than being a politician. So a failed businessman who went into politics and suddenly found himself in a position to be able to afford to spend 35 billion naira on an electoral campaign. So where's that money coming from? We are being told that it takes $1.5 billion out of the Lagos State coffers. So that already tells you everything. Think what impact that $1.5 billion, by the way, would have on the teeming population. Lagos is one of the 5 mega cities in the world. Lagos, Delhi, I think Calcutta, I can't remember the rest, but Lagos, by the United Nations standards, because of the density of the population, about 20 odd million people confined into that small geographical space, is considered to be a mega city. So Lagos, a mega city with a teeming population and no real infrastructure to support this teeming population. Then you have one man taking $1.5 billion out of it. So that tells you everything that you need to know about this Tinubu. But our nemesis, alas, has caught up with him now. He's been shafted in the back. So I'm not quite sure exactly what he's expecting Bisi Akande to do about it, though, because Bisi Akande, I don't even think is the chairman of his own home. I'm sure his wife is in charge of him. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe he's just venting to the guy. I don't know. But now, karma, they say, is a bitch. So this is now karma catching up with this Tinubu character now. All of the abuse and all of the lies and all of the primal conducts that Goodluck Jonathan had to suffer from these people, there was just an alarm on the face of Goodluck Jonathan throughout the whole course of the build-up to that 2015 election. When they will say this thing, I will say, are we living in the same country? But that is patently not true. But these people, they don't deal in truth. They deal in lies, in bribery and corruption. So they managed to bully Goodluck Jonathan out of office because he didn't have a constituency, and the person that was leading that charge to bully him out of office was, of course, Tinubu. So now, emboldened now that he now sits astride the whole of the Nigerian state, he is now handpicking who the governor of Lagos State will be. So if he sends an instruction from his home in Bodilion to say do this and do that, and you don't do this and you don't do that, he will simply phone his boys to impeach you and then get you out of office and send the EFCC after you, like he did with Ambode. And of course, he managed to tame Fashola, because Fashola, he knows where his own bread is buttered, so he will never cross the line. So Sanwo-Olu now is getting the same treatment and he's starting to grumble. But that move against Ambode was a real big mistake by this guy, because Ambode was well loved in Lagos State, because you could see if you go to Muritala Mohammed International Airport now and you come out to the airport, if you manage to escape that chaotic, almost barbaric, very backward airport that they have in Lagos, if you manage to come out of it and you get on the streets, there's a stretch of road that just rolls like a carpet, well laid out, etc., etc. This was built by Ambode. This whole Epe project that he was trying to bring Epe into Lagos State to expand the state so that there's more breathing space within that state. All of these plans, all of the roads that he's fixing, he will go there by himself. You see him in his shirt and jeans or shirt and trouser, saying that, look, this road, I will fix it within 3-4 weeks. And then 3-4 weeks, he will come back and say, I have fixed this road. So a lot of activities, all the also the terminal in Ojota, etc. So all of these things he was doing, and the whole of Lagos State was pleased. He was saying then, Ambode, that he wants people to hit Lagos State and feel the difference. I mean, hit by, that is, coming to Lagos State. So if you are coming from the hinterlands of Nigeria, as soon as you hit the borders of Lagos State, you immediately know the difference between where you're coming from and where you are now. This is where the ambitions of Ambode. But then, of course, he wasn't serving up the $1.5 billion as regularly as Tinubu would have him do, so he got rid of him. And this particularly pained everyone, because Buhari wanted him not to do it, because Buhari especially liked Ambode, because he could see the impact that he was having. He was having to travel from Abuja almost on a monthly basis to come and open one new project or the other that this guy had completed. So a real achiever. But then Tinubu, of course, managed to get rid of him. So they have been laying in wait for Tinubu for a long time, and a lot of people have pockets of issues with Tinubu. El Rufai has his own issues because he also has presidential ambitions towards 2023, and Aregbesola is going to be his running mate. So that's one strategy that is already plotting against him within the party. And then this now move against Ambode is one that Buhari had kept in his pocket, that no, there can't be two captains in one ship, and you cannot be the captain when I am around. So now, having now gotten the opportunity to get rid of Oshiomhole, they have now seized the entirety of the party away from Tinubu now, because he's now out in the cold completely, to the point now that he's now coming out in the public space to tell us that he spent $35 billion, not dollars, but naira, that he spent 35 billion naira on the Buhari joint campaign 2015-2019. So where did that money come from is the first question. And the second question, of course, is why did you spend it on this election? Conversations in the comment section in Yoruba land, we say afẹ́fẹ́ ti fẹ́, you know, but in English they say the wind has blown and you have seen the behind of the chicken. So it is the behind of the chicken now. It doesn't really translate in English very well, but it resonates more in Yoruba. Afẹ́fẹ́ ti fẹ́ àti rí fùrọ̀ adìyẹ. So however you are choosing to term it, the guy has been exposed is essentially what is going on now, and it's now coming out in the public space to make a lot of this noise. And I'm pretty sure that he had this leaked, and he since denied it, by the way, that he said this, and I will bring that to you in a follow-up video. So please click on subscribe to keep up to date. Click on the bell notification as well, so you are notified every time I drop a new video. Then click on like as well if you like the content of the video, because that helps, you see, with the YouTube algorithm. So once you've done all that, come into the comment section to exchange views with me regarding this matter. So I'll leave you here, carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say Peace.